Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten, and today I am so excited for this video. We are trying to get a bingo on Rainie's series Takedown. So for those that don't know, Rainie has put together another bingo board for 2026 where you're trying to get those series read. I loved the first version that she did. This second version, I was so optimistic. I was like, I'm gonna do hard mode. It's gonna be great. Yeah, I'm not doing hard mode anymore. I tried for so long. I put far too much time into trying to come up with a TBR for this video that works for hard mode, made harder by the fact that I mainly want to be reading books off my shelves to do this challenge. But yeah, I just couldn't do it. So we're gonna be scrapping hard mode. However, we're still going to be doing the bottom row because for hard mode, there was a prompt which you had to fulfill first. And so because mentally I was like, that's the one I'm starting off, that's what we're going to continue with. Okay, we're doing the bottom row for this video and I'm so freaking excited about it. Grab yourselves a beverage. This is going to be a long one. We're going to be trying to get 5 books read, hopefully with no DNFs. We're going to see. We're going to see if I can do this. But let's just get straight into what the prompts are. And I have a selection of books for each of the prompts, apart from one. I think one actually has just the one book that I'm thinking of reading. Everything else I've got a mixture, and we're just going to go mood based on what I actually read. The first prompt that you're meant to start off with if you're doing hard mode is going off the vibes. So a series that you want to start / continue that you pick up just because of the vibe, which I had an option for this that I was initially like, yeah, this is the book I'm definitely going to be starting with, and now I've changed my mind. Of course. The book was Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldry, because I did initially pick this one up just because of the vibes, because I heard it was a really cozy book, as in the first book. And I did. I loved that first book. The second book I read, and I thought it was fine. And this third one, I decided to pick up a physical copy because I'm really hoping that I love this one. And I was just doing it for the vibes, for the cozy vibe. However, my mood is now saying, oh, I don't want cozy. Instead, now I just want a fun time. The first book, I loved it. I loved it so much. And I have been meaning to continue this one for ages. Like this has been sat on my shelves for a while. I really enjoyed the first 2 books. I mean, the first book was my favorite, but I do want to continue on with the series, and I do use this one as just like a palette cleanser fun time. So I feel like this fits the prompt of vibes so well, and I am tempted just to start off reading this book. I'm not gonna lie, because I had so much fun with it, the first 2, that I'm just like, you know what, I could do with that right now. That's the first prompt. Now we're gonna go back in order. One for the bottom line is chunky series. Now easy mode is to read a book in a series or continue a series or start a series. It's really up to you. I'm gonna stop saying that. That's gonna get really repetitive and boring. It's got to be over 400 pages. Every book has got to be over 400 pages in the series. Hard mode has got to be over 500. Now I did have 2 for hard mode, and that was Engines of War by R.S. Ford. This would be finishing out a series for me. Epic fantasy, really enjoy it. Super underrated series. We've also got the Atlas series, because for my editions, I double checked them and all 3 come in over 500 pages. So that would work really well. Atlas Paradox, I've been meaning to read for a while. Haven't got round to it. Story of my life. But then I was like, you know what? As I'm not going to do hard mode because some of these prompts were really hard, I could then go with Relight My Fire by C.K. McDonald, which is the 4th book in the Stranger Times series, which I really enjoy. And I had this one up for vote on my January TBR between this one and A Taste of Golden Iron, which unfortunately is not a series. I did have a look, but it looks like it's just a standalone. Where I was going with that is it's actually neck and neck. I've been meaning to read this one for a while, and it works for the easy mode of 400 pages. So again, I could choose between any of them. Currently, I'm leaning towards this one because it's got the humor. I'm kind of feeling the more fun vibes at the minute. Stranger Times is like a paranormal newspaper, and it's like, what if actually all the things that they report, what if they're real? And we have like different mini mysteries that this whole newsagent company, like they end up working together to try and solve and stuff, and it's just fun silliness. I'm leaning towards this one, but again, my mood could change. We could go with something else. All Caught Up, so this is where you read the last book in a series. Hard mode is meant to have nature on the cover, and this is the one that really tripped me up, because even with the Kindle books that I have, I was pushing the boat out in this one, so I just scrapped hard mode. Now I have a couple on my shelves where I could be finishing out a series. Again, I don't know which one I'm leaning towards, like I really don't. The Book That Held Her Heart by Mark Lawrence, this is the last one in the Library trilogy, and I have been meaning to read this one since it came out. I just keep putting it off because it's the last book, and I did really enjoy the first book. I thought it was amazing. The second book was still good, not as good as the first book in my opinion, so I'm really hoping it wraps up the trilogy really well. We're gonna see. Or the other option I have is Immortality, A Love Story by Donna Schwartz. Again, this is a series that I should have finished ages ago, just haven't actually got round to. This one's a duology, historical mystery leaning. This one's set in Edinburgh in this one's 1818 Edinburgh. I did enjoy the first book quite a lot. A lot of people were like, you didn't really need the second book, it wrapped up well on its own. I'm intrigued to see where it's going to go. So yeah, it's going to be one of these two because they're the only ones on my shelves that I can actively finish right now, and I'm not using manga for this. For Rainy's challenge, I'm going to try and not use any manga. But yeah, so these are the two that I have on my shelves that I could be finishing out right now. That's what this intro is I don't know what I'm reading. Hopefully that's entertaining-ish. Making forward progress though. This is the one that I know what I'm reading for, and I'm going to be starting it next week, and that is A Grief of Stones by Catherine Addison. It is Addison, isn't it? I always get Catherine Arden and Catherine Addison mixed up. I'm pretty sure it's Catherine Addison. They are one of my favourite authors, by the way. This is terrible. But Grief of Stones, I'm reading this next week with Leandra. Really excited about it. This is book 2, the spin-off series. So we have The Goblin Emperor first, which I do recommend reading before you read this series. I absolutely love it. I think it just gives you a bit more context. I don't think Leandra's actually read The Goblin Emperor. She's just gone straight into this series, which she adores. For this series, we're following a side character from The Goblin Emperor, and he is someone that can commune with the dead, and he kind of like puts them to rest, but also can be used to help try and work out, has somebody been murdered, and all these different things. And it seems like each of these books is going to have a little mystery in it. Did enjoy the first book. I'm really excited to see where it's going to go in this second book. So yes, this is definitely one that I'm going to be reading, and the thing for this one was to continue a series, read the second book in a series. I can't remember what hard mode was for it, but seeing as I'm not doing it, I don't think it matters. And then going off of vibes, which we've already spoken about. And then the last one is love it so far. Hard mode, you had to have given a book 5 stars in the series. Ridiculously hard for me. I do not give out 5 stars. I'm going to change that with 2026. I mean it. Hopefully that I will be giving out more 5 stars, but yeah, I'm too stingy for this, so this was a struggle. But then because I got rid of that 5-star bit and just went with a series you've been loving that you've been meaning to continue is the rest of it. So a series that I've been loving, I did think about, well, Clockwork Boys by T. Kingfisher. I love this series. It is the start of the Temple of the White Rat series. You can see this as its own duology, but it is also the start Temple of the White Rat series, which is how I've been reading the book. I've been reading them out of order, but that's beside the point. So I've got this book, which would be really good to read. It's also on my January TBR. However, the second part where it goes, a series you've been loving that you've been meaning to continue, well, I've been making really decent progress with this. I've been making sure that I've been not keeping up to date, but like I've been reading a book from this series like every few months or so. Like I read 3 books from this series last year. So, you know, I'm kind of keeping up to date-ish. For me, it's keeping up to date. Like, anyway, moving on from that, one that I haven't been, but I really did love the first one, is The Geographer's Map to Romance by India Holton. And I had so much fun with the first one. Oh, it was so good. That one was The Ornithologist's Guide to Love. And oh god, I love India Holton. Like rom-com, just fantasy, brilliant. I love it. I love India Holton's work. They very much are just a rom-com fantasy series, books. In general, India Holton's got 2 different series, one that's wrapped up as a trilogy, which I really enjoyed, and then we've got this one, which is The Love's Academic, which is also just a fantasy rom-com, which I love so much. It's so silly. I always wonder, would this technically count as romantasy? Because it's not like the other ones, like the big ones, like Quicksilver and things like that, where you've got all the angst and stuff. This is rom-com romantasy, which I love so much. I have so much fun with this. I think I am going to go with this one instead of Clockwork Boys because it fulfills that second part of I've been meaning to continue for ages. I have had this one since it came out and I've not read it. And this one came out, was it February or March of 2025? Oh, it just says 2025, it doesn't say the month. But yeah, I've been super excited. And then we do have the 3rd book that's coming out. If I was doing hard mode, then I would technically be starting off with one of these 2. I think I'm going to go with this one out of those 2 books. But I'm not going to lie to you, I'm really feeling this book. So I think I'm actually going to start the video out with this one because we've already said no to hard mode. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then I will just be mood reading out of the selection of books that I've said, yeah, we're going to start off with this one. And I'm so freaking excited. I'm really, really hoping that by the end of this video, we're going to have one whole bingo done. I'm so excited for this video because I honestly think these are all going to be amazing books because we're continuing series that I know I enjoy. So if I end up DNFing a book, I will just be heartbroken. I will genuinely be heartbroken. So let's see if we can get through this video without a single DNF and get this bingo. But yeah, I'm going to do it. We're going to do it. I'm going to read this one. I'm very excited for it. So I'll check back in when I've started. But this is just ridiculous fun. So. guys, I'm up to chapter 10, page 141, and this is just so much fun. Okay, this book is ludicrous. That is the word of the day when it comes to this book. You just can't make it up. It is so ridiculous, but I love it so much. It has had me laughing, giggling, kicking my feet. Like, it's just such a fun, silly little read. But let's get into it. So we're following the two Dr. Tarrants. We have Elodie and Gabriel. And you know, their marriage started off pretty good. Like, it was kind of like a accidental marriage sort of thing. It gets explained, it's fun, it's silly, just like the whole book. And it starts out really well. They have an amazing wedding night, like everything seems to be going so well. And then something happens where the reason why they were getting married, it just kind of isn't really a thing anymore. Elodie says something and that gets kind of taken the wrong way by Gabriel, and so he just leaves. And Elodie walks off in the other direction, and that's it for their marriage. Like, it was happy sailing for about, I think it was like 2 or 3 days. Now, 1 year later, they are both geographers. They're both top of the league of their field, and there is a magical disturbance. That's what I'm calling it. It's more technical. It's actually described in this, but it's also ludicrous. Okay, it's ridiculous, and some of the words and stuff I'm just like, yeah, no. It even does get said, like, for those that actually care about their vocal cords, hang on a minute, let me see if I can find the exact phrasing. Otherwise known as magical mayhem to people who valued their vocal cords. And so that's what I'm going to refer to it as, magical mayhem. They're really good at dealing with it, containing the after effects, etc. And there's this whole big happening in a little village in Wales. A telegram comes through needing Dr. Tarrant, and so they both end up going unbeknownst to each other until they get to the train station and they realise they're both there to attend to this magical disaster. They end up going, and lots of like silly little tropes ensue from there, but it is so much fun. I love how we get both of their perspectives. So you see how in both their heads they really do care for each other, want each other, etc. But it's also layered with the fact that they don't think the other person does, and so they're like, nope, I'm going to be professional about this. And like Elodie's like, I loathe him, but it's actually crossed out before that of I love him, crossed out, no, loathe him, get it right, can't be doing this to us. It's just silly, okay? It is utterly ridiculous. The actual plotline is silly, like everything is just over the top silliness, but it works because the book doesn't take itself seriously. Like, I really, really enjoy it. I do. I love, and honestly, India Holton just in general does brilliant, ridiculous, fun times, and I do have such a good time with them. I think they're great for a reading slump. I think they're great for just if I'm feeling a bit meh, I can pick this up and know that I'm going to be laughing by the end of it. Like, it is just a really silly time. I can sit and binge like an easy 60 pages in one sitting and just have a great time with it. And while I know it's not going to be for everyone, I mean, you can say that with any book, I genuinely do really, really enjoy it. It's just silly, it's just fun, and I have such a good time with it. So yeah, I love these books. I do think they should be talked about a little bit more because they really are just silliness. Like, I love it, okay? I really enjoy these fantasy, it's like historical fantasy rom-coms, and I really enjoy them. The other set of books India Holton has done, I have the last book in the series because I didn't realise this was a series when I picked it up, but it's The Secret Service of Tea and Treason. It starts off with the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. They're just really fun as well. I can't wait to read the rest of the books in this series. This one is actually about like pirates, but they're pirates that aren't doing ships. They're pirating houses that fly through the air. It is honestly utterly ridiculous, but we've got pirates and witches, and in this one, Secret Service agents that are trying to deal with everything, and I think it's great. Each book you follow a different couple while you're inside this absolutely ludicrous world, and they all give the thing. I think for me, I kind of slightly prefer the Love's Academic series to this series. I love it, okay? I don't think I've given any of India Holton's books, like I've read 3 now. I've read The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love, which is the first one in the Love's Academic series, so I've read that one. I've read this one, and I'm currently reading this one, and I don't think I've given any of these books less than a 4 stars because I just have so much fun with them. Because right now this is sitting at an easy 4.5. I'm having so much fun with it. Honestly, I think it get 5 stars by the end of it because I am trying to be a little bit better with my 5-star ratings. Not every single 5-star book has to be like the most, I don't know, I guess with my 5 stars I was always trying to make them be the most like emotional, most like poignant, you know, they're trying to have something to say about society or they really resonate with me. It doesn't always have to be that. Sometimes it can just be a really fun book that you've really enjoyed. Like, I'm going to go on the rating of, if there's nothing I would change about the book, it gets the 5 stars. And currently there is nothing I would change about this, so I'm keeping it at 4.5 for now because we've got a little bit of the book to go. So, you know, that could change, so I'm going to keep it at 4.5 for now, but I think this could easily hit 5 stars if it carries on the way it's going. Like, I'm having such good fun with this. This is just, it's just so ridiculous. I love it so much. I genuinely do. So yeah, I would really recommend India Holton if you want something that is ridiculous. Like, don't go into this book trying to make sense of everything and all of it, because you can't do that. But if you're looking for a book that is happy to make fun of itself, yeah, these books are great for it. So I'm very much loving this. Can't wait to continue. Ideally, I actually kind of want to finish this across the next 2 days. So today and tomorrow would be great. And then I want to move on. Now, I'm thinking about the different prompts to fulfill, and I think it would probably be smart if I moved on to the chunky one after this. Get the big book out of the way. I don't really know which one I'm feeling still. I'm kind of like loving the ridiculousness, so I'm leaning a little bit more towards Relight My Fire. As I've said, I think I've said, I've got books in the background that I'm reading that they're not as ridiculous and fun. To be honest, it's actually going to be the first book which I'm not loving. I think the short would have come out for this by now already. I'm currently reading Savage Blooms in the background for the romantasy shorts that I'm doing, and I'm not loving it as much as the other 2 prior to this one. So it's fine, but I think while I've got that one going on, having a more ridiculous book while I'm reading it, I think could be just the way to go. So I'm kind of leaning towards this one. We'll see, because my mood could change. It could be by the time I finish this book, the Geographer's Map to Romance. Honestly, I keep wanting to call this the first book. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But by the time I finish this one, maybe I'll be out of that ridiculous mood and I'll want something a little bit different, but also we'll see. But I think the chunky one is the next prompt I will tackle for this. But right, okay, well, that was enough chit chat. Wait. Before I go, I did go to Brighton. Me and my partner went there yesterday. It was nice. It was good to do just something different because we always go into central London, so it was quite nice to just change up location for a little bit. Freezing cold. It's freezing cold everywhere at the minute though, so that was fine. But yeah, it was nice. We had a nice little walk along the beach. We went down the pier. We didn't go on any of like the rides or anything that's there, but we just kind of walked down it and then just kind of had, yeah, a little wander around. I actually didn't take that much footage. I think I only took a little bit of footage on the beach, and that was it. But it was really nice just to be in the moment, enjoying the day, going somewhere a little bit different, and yeah, it was just a nice little time out. So that's all I did yesterday. And then yeah, I think that's everything. I'm off tomorrow. I want to do some baking. I'm gonna try and make Gail's honey cake. I love it. Okay, I don't know if I don't know if they're everywhere, or if it's just UK or what, but they're a really nice little like coffee shop, and they have these amazing honey cakes, and my partner found a recipe online and sent it to me so that I could try and make it. So I'm gonna try and do that tomorrow. Fingers crossed it all goes to plan. We'll see. And then yeah, I'm not planning on doing too much. It'll be baking, chilling, reading, and hopefully finishing out this. That is my game plan for tomorrow. I don't really have anything else to do. I am happy with that because then I'm working like 10 days straight. So, no. But right, anyway, I've got another video to film as always, so I'm gonna get on and do that, and I will catch up with you probably when I've finished the Geographer's Map to Romance. It's just so much fun. It is so ridiculous. The Geographer's Map to Romance, and I enjoyed it so much. I am sticking with the 4.5. I was ready for it to end. Like, there was a few things that I think probably got dragged out a little bit. I still loved it. It was so silly. I just had so much fun with this book. So yeah, I am so happy with this. 4.5 stars, great start to the bingo. So we have one spot filled, loving it so far. I'm now up to date, so when that next book comes out, I probably won't be purchasing it straight away because I am on this book buy-in ban. Have I mentioned it in this video? I don't know. Basically, my partner set me a challenge to reduce my physical TBR by 50 books, but it does mean that any book I purchase, well, it adds to the TBR, add into the amount of books I need to read. So basically, I need to try and get down to 75 books on my physical TBR, and currently I'm at like 120, I think 121, I'm not sure, something like that. I'll have to double check. But so I won't be buying this one for a little bit, but we did get it off the bingo and I am so happy with this. This was such a strong start, and I have decided what the rest of the books I'm reading are. I've actually decided, so let's go through that very quickly. So for chunky read, I am going with Relight My Fire. This is because Danny commented on my January TBR and she voted for this one, breaking the tie break between this and A Taste of Golden Iron. This will be the book that I'm reading for that. And then she also commented about the book that broke her heart, saying how this book does have a recap at the start, so it will be easy for me to go into it, which I forgot. Mark Lawrence did do that with the second book as well, and I did find it very helpful. So I've decided that I'm going to do this one for finishing out a series. So that is the TBR. That is what we're going to do. I have also got Finley Donovan, but I don't really know which one I want to read. See, part of me was going to go into the chunky book next because, you know, it makes sense. I've just finished a short book. Let's go into a bit of a chunky read. Don't know. I feel like I want to break up the funniness maybe, because I know going into this book, like, I'm really going to like it. Honestly, what is going on with my hair? I always have bits that just stick out everywhere. It's crazy. Anyway, but yeah, because I know this one is quite funny. It's got really good banter to it and I do enjoy it a lot, but also I am kind of feeling this one. This one I'm going to wait to, I think this is probably going to be the last book I read because it's going to be super quick, super easy to get through. So if I'm finding I'm a little bit pushed for time, this is what I'm saving that for. And then obviously Grief of Stones, we know that I'm reading next week with Leandra, so I've still got a few days. So I don't know. You know what? Let's read the first line and go from there. First sentence for this one. I mean, this is book 4 in a series and I have really enjoyed all the other books. They are really, really good fun. If you are looking for a paranormal mystery series, really do give this one a try. I know quite a few of you have picked up this series because of me, and honestly, I'm so grateful for that. These are so funny and I do think it's a little bit underrated. Anyway, moving on. And with a gasp, she was awake. Okay. What about chapter 1? The thing about life is that it is fundamentally impossible. Okay. Not bad. And now let's try the book that held her heart. Okay, chapter 1. As a baby, Anne had taken her first ever steps among the aisles of what her grandfather called his library, but was in fact a second-hand bookshop. Genuinely, the first line didn't help. Like, I want to read both, but I don't know what one I want to read. This is not that helpful. You know what I should probably do is actually give a better wrap up to the Geographer's Map to Romance. Maybe by the time I've chatted about that, I will have decided which book I want to go with, because I realized in all my excitement, I didn't really say what happened. So yes, this is a ludicrous book and that's pretty much the only thing I've given you. But basically the magic in here, it all works with like the ley lines and it can go a little bit awry. And we've got the two Dr. Terrence who have to go to Wales to try and deal with this erratic magic, and it's causing all sorts of things to happen. It can cause people to turn into animals, or we have one moment where this chicken sandwich actually turns into a chicken goat that can like spew fire at times and stuff. Like, it does really weird things. Like, we have a mini volcano at one point and stuff. So it is crazy, absolutely crazy, erratic. It's a bit all over the place, and basically what happens is the magic will follow the ley lines, and if they can't prevent it from getting out of control and building up so much that it then follows those ley lines, it's going to cause havoc in Oxford and then London, where there's all these magical artifacts and all these birds and stuff, because this does take place in the exact same world as the first book, which is The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. Is all about crazy magical birds and this whole hunt for one specific one. So it has like all of these repercussions, and so Elodie and Gabriel have to work out where is the source of all of this magic. They've got to try and prevent it. And from there, it takes them on this crazy adventure with, honestly, filled with craziness. Now, there is a lot of like conveniences to do certain tropes for the book. Again, I don't mind that. This book does not take itself seriously. It is very much just a silly, fun time. So it's just an entertaining read. Like, I read it really easily. I had a lot of fun reading this book. So while I was waiting for the honey cake to bake yesterday, I was reading and finishing this book. Like, it just worked really well, which actually, that honey cake didn't turn out too bad. I think next time I wouldn't actually do one big cake. I would actually do it as like smaller little cupcakes, which is how I buy it in Gales. They do like these tiny little honey cakes, and I think that works better. Just because of the amount of honey you're putting into that cake, the outside of it is then, because of all the sugar from the honey and stuff, it was going a lot more caramelized, and yet the inside just was taking that little bit longer to cook. I had all the right settings and stuff, did it for the right amount of time and everything, but I just think it would work a little bit better. Maybe if it was smaller. I don't know. Regardless though, the taste actually really good. I was quite surprised. So I'm pleased with that. There's a few changes and like tweaks that I want to try here and there, but for a first attempt, I'm really happy with that. If you do want to try it for yourself, I'll see if I can link it actually. It's a recipe from Gales themselves that tells you how to do the cake. So I'll see if I can link it in the description below if you're interested. But yeah, so it was a really nice time just to have, honestly, the smell of a cake baking and then just reading this absolutely ridiculous book. It just really worked. I had so much fun with it. So yeah, I'm really pleased that this ended up being the first book that I was reading, and that I've decided just to go for easy mode with the bingo board, because I just think, you know, the idea of hard mode is great, but I don't think I can ever do it. Like, I'm not doing hard mode for any of the others that I'm doing. So obviously I've got the horror bingo, the romantasy bingo, and our fantasy, and I'm not doing hard mode for any of those. And as much as I really wanted to do hard mode, it just isn't gonna happen. So easy mode it is. I'm so pleased that I read this one. It was so good. It was so ridiculous. And yeah, if you've got any other books that are like rom-com fantasies, do let me know, because I do find them so much fun to read. I don't know, I just think there's something just silly about it. They're a really nice fun palette cleanser, and yeah, I really enjoy it. Very happy with this one. And yeah, like I say, sticking with that 4.5 stars. Very excited to see the third book, and who is that going to follow? I'm not really sure. I feel like there are a couple of characters that we could possibly have books around, but I don't actually know, and I haven't looked into it. I don't even know when this book, the third book, is releasing, but I definitely have a lot of fun with it. So that was great. Really, really happy with that. But now we go back to the conundrum that I'm having between which book do I read next. I don't know. Do I start this one? Because Grief of Stones is also a bit of a mystery. So no matter which order I do this in, I'm either going to be reading Grief of Stones before this, or maybe at the same time, depending on how Leandra and I do the body read. Would I want two mysteries at the same time? I think that's the better question. Not so much the funniness, because I think I can really enjoy a humorous read, even if I do read a few of them back to back. But do I really want to read two mysteries at the same time? Oh, okay. I think I've got a plan. We've got a plan. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to take this one to work. This will be the next book I read, because I don't think I want to do two mysteries at the same time. Which, speaking of that, I don't know if I'm going to want to do two fantasy books at the same time, because Grief of Stones is a fantasy book. So I might save this one for last and then pair this one with Grief of Stones maybe, and then finish up the vlog with this. This could change, as we know. I am not very good at sticking to what I say. Currently, this is what I'm thinking would work for my mood. Maybe that's the order. We'll see, but I'm having a great time. This is so much fun. I'll take this one to work with me. I'll let you know how it goes starting off. This is a bit of a chunkier book. Actually, to be fair, it's not too bad. It's 509 pages long. So, you know, I mean, chunky, yes, could be worse. And these covers are awesome because they have like little images that show scenes that are going to happen in the book, and I do enjoy, as I'm reading the book, looking back to see, can I see the scenes? I think what I'll do is I'll give you a proper rundown of the characters and everything once I've started this book, so I can have a little bit of a refresh as well, because it's been a while since I've read this. I started off really getting into these, but then I took quite a big break between the third one and this one. And I think there is a fifth one out. I think there's a Christmas themed one, maybe? I don't know, I just really enjoyed them. I need to get back to it, so. Okay, this is what we're gonna be doing today. Right, I've actually got to get ready for work. I haven't even eaten, so I need to go do myself some food, get myself ready for work, and I'll check back in, and honestly, I'll ramble at you then. because we all know that that is exactly what's going to happen. Oh my god, I have been talking for like 14 minutes. I've got things to do. I gotta go. I'll see you soon. Made some great progress with this book. I'm up to chapter 25, page 214, and I'm really enjoying this. This is so much fun. The humour in this is very different to the Geographer's Map to Romance. So where I said this one was like ludicrous and ridiculous, this one, Relight My Fire, is a lot more witty, sarcastic, kind of dry humour, which I genuinely love. Like, I love that type of humour. I was concerned going into this book because obviously it's been a while since I've read book 3. I was like, what if I don't remember stuff? But I didn't need to worry. We have a really good recap in this book, but it's done well, like it's actually done within the story. So we have probably about the first 60 to 70 pages where we were getting the setup of what is going to happen in this book, and it also does like little recaps of the major events that happened at the end of book 3 and also like the big plot points that are happening across the series, and it does it in a really smooth way. So that was great. Obviously, I can't go into like what the plot is on this one, but it is following the same formula that the rest of the books have been, where each book has its own little mystery that they're trying to solve while also having an overarching plot line. To give you a recap of the first book, so if you're intrigued by this series, the first book, The Stranger Times, we mainly follow Hannah. And Hannah, well, she's going through a divorce, she's got a douchebag ex-husband, and she needs a job. And so she applies to work at Stranger Times, and when she gets there, she realizes that this place is a little bit quirky, to say the least. It is a paranormal newspaper. It reports on all of the unusual sightings, from ghosts to UFOs. But as you progress further into the book, what if those sightings, what if they're real? What if those things actually happen? Maybe not every single one, but what if some of them happen? As it progresses, you get all the different viewpoints of everyone that works for the Stranger Times, and they are such a great cast of characters. They are so eclectic, and I genuinely love them. I love all their different personalities. I love getting to know them. I love how even Bancroft, so he's the head of the newspaper, he is this blustering, rude person who shouts all the time, who genuinely is probably the most rude person you're ever gonna meet, but he genuinely cares at the same time. He just doesn't want you to know that he cares, and it's just so ridiculous. And throughout the books, you're seeing everyone, how their dynamic works, how they do genuinely care for one another. And in the first book, you have a mystery to solve, and we start getting introduced to what is the bigger plot line that's going across all of these books, because it's all about how we're set in Manchester. Manchester, well, it's had lots of strange little happenings going on, and there is this council that's kind of like in charge of making sure those strange happenings don't impact the everyday humans that have no idea this stuff's going on, and they're trying to make sure that people don't believe in any of it, and they use whatever they can to make sure that happens. And the Stranger Times gets caught up in all of this, and so the Stranger Times ends up being this weird go-between between the paranormal powers that be and the human world, and they kind of end up having a working relationship with the police and all sorts, and each book it builds upon that plot line, the politics that go with that. Honestly, in this book, it is reaching a boiling point of that plot line, and each book feels like it's building up really well. Don't think it's that overwhelming because of the fact that each book just adds that little bit extra to the world. So this is quite expansive, it's quite intricate with everything that's going on, but it's done really smoothly, but you still have a mystery inside every single book, so you've still got interest going on, and of course the humour that goes throughout this book. I really enjoy the humour in these books. It's very topical of the moment, which I always enjoy, and again, it is some of the most dry humour ever, but I genuinely love it. Although I do think if you don't like the humour, you may struggle with these books. I just think they're brilliant. I think they're really underrated, especially if you do just want like a paranormal mystery fun time, but it gets expansive. Yeah, the series is really good for it. And in this book, being reintroduced to all of our main characters, we've had the main thing that happened. Wait, is it on the back? Can I say if it's on the back? A man falls from the sky. It's literally rain and men? How did this person fall from the sky like this? How did this happen? And then of course we've got the bigger plot line and how it all ties into all the bigger events that are happening. It is just really good, really entertaining. I find that I can just sit down and just read this for like an hour plus straight because I just find it so entertaining. It is so easy to read, and yeah, just genuinely, like, I really enjoy it. I don't understand why I always put off reading these books, but it is my usual of, I know I'm really going to enjoy it, so I'm just going to put it off because that doesn't make sense, but you know, whatever. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying this one. I think so far, I'm giving this one like a solid 4 stars at the minute. It can definitely get higher, but I think 4 stars is good. Like, it is a really fun, entertaining time, and I can't wait to see where the plotline is going to go in this. Maybe if I had read this one closer together to the 3rd book, maybe this would be getting a little bit higher. I'm not sure. I'm just having a great time. I know I'm definitely going to be rereading this series at some point in the future. It's just really good fun. I really like all of the intricacies. I like how we do have references back to other plot lines that happened. Even though they got wrapped up, we still get little aspects of each of those little mysteries that are important to continuing on the plot line. So I really like the continuity of that. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, in this book, every so often, and it's the same with all of them, you get little excerpts from the newspaper. So it's just a 1-page little snippet, like article, but they're really fun, and it just gives you an idea of what this newspaper is actually printing. And yeah, it's fun. Sometimes they're a bit relevant to what is actually going on, and you might be able to pick out little tidbits and stuff. Other times they're irrelevant to what's going on, but just really entertaining to read. So I really like that. It's throughout all of the book. I don't know, I don't think there's anything else I can say without spoiling things, but I do really enjoy it, and I love our different characters. I also love how at the front we do get a dramatis person drink and pose you. So it's a list of characters and all of the drinks that they like. In each book it's done slightly different as well. So like the Stranger Times staff, we've got Vincent Bancroft, editor, whiskey, occasionally rum, whatever is available. Hannah Willis, assistant editor, milky coffee or white wine. Ox Chen, features writer, UFOs and conspiracy theories, unpronounceable Russian energy drink banned in 23 countries. And Manny's probably one of my favourite characters in this. So he's a printer / Rastafarian, tea au naturel like himself, herbal cigarettes for his glaucoma. I love our characters. I really, really enjoy this series, and I have every so often been stopping to see like the cover, what scenes have I already seen from the book, how these covers really do reflect what is inside the book really, really well. This is just great fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm pleased I went with this one for the chunky book. I think I would have loved the other 2 options that I had regardless, but this has been put off for such a long time, and you know, I'm just loving it. This is great. So that is that. For now, I've got, I want to film a short. Also need to do a slight edit to my Kindle TBR, because that is a video that's coming up before this one, after this one, at some point, where I go through my entire Kindle TBR, and I realised I missed a couple, so I need to do a quick edit for that. I then have work, and honestly that's about it really. Like, I don't have loads going on at the minute. It's mainly just work and reading. I'm okay with that. Like, reading is amazing. Right, what am I going on about? I don't know. I think I just need to get filming other things and then like have some food. Like, that's probably a good idea as well. But yeah, I'm just having a really good time. I knew that for this series, because I will probably do another episode of completing a bingo for this series. Like, I'm still going to, after this one, as I read things for other videos and stuff, if it works for the bingo board, I will tick it off. But I'm thinking I could probably do maybe 1 or 2 more episodes of this where I try and get 1 complete bingo. I just knew that I was going to be loving everything, especially because like I'm continuing series. I'm actually finally continuing series. I'm loving this, especially because like Shop My Shelves, the vlog before this, it can be so hit or miss because it's just a spinner wheel of my entire TBR, and some of those books were purchased long enough ago that I'm no longer in the mood for them, or they were something I was trying. I do like to dabble in different genres to see, you know, type of books and stuff I like, but it does also mean that I end up with a high proportion of DNFs because, again, they've just been lounging on my shelves for ages. So it's really nice to have a video where I'm having no DNFs and I'm just having an amazing time and everything is above a 4-star. Like, this is just so good. Like, if you need a reminder to continue on the series, do it. Anyway, right, I said I was going to go and I'm here waffling on. Not that you're surprised by this, but I will see you in a few days' time. Planning to finish this book out over 3 days, having 100 pages per day. Yeah, that didn't happen. Instead, I binged 200 pages of it yesterday and finished this up this morning, and yeah, I just had so much fun with this book. I love the way it ended. I think it wrapped up the storyline that was happening in this book really well, while still leaving us open-ended for where the book is going to go for the next installment. Honestly, kind of a plus side to leaving it so long between picking up these books is that the 5th book is already out and ready for me. Although it doesn't look like there is going to be anything afterwards, it could be like at the end of the book. Obviously, I haven't read it, but from what I could see online, it says it's book 5 of 5. It could just be that we just don't have, I don't know. I'm hoping there's more. Like, this is one of those series where I'm like, they could just keep going. But I did. I loved this book so much, and I was really dithering on what star rating to give it, because initially I was like, oh, 4.5. I really enjoyed this one. Super fun and easy to read. All the things that I've been saying about like the humor, the character, all of this stuff. But then I was thinking about it and I'm like, in reality, in this whole entire book, there is only one scene that I would change. It was fine. It was just not necessarily needed. And it's just one little chapter, and not even the whole chapter, just a part of that chapter where it starts going into the backstory behind this particular thing. I don't really think it was needed, but considering the chapters are so short in this book, it was like 6 pages. And I'm like, how can I turn around and go, there is only 6 pages out of this whole book that I feel like could have been cut, and I'm not giving it 5 stars? Like, I am not going to keep gatekeeping the 5 stars. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm so bad at giving them out. But this is a perfect example of a 5-star book because I love it. I am so attached to all of the characters. I cannot wait to see where their storyline's going to go. We had an introduction to a new character, and honestly, hilarious. I really, really loved this character. It was just so good. Actually, well, we had an introduction to 4 different characters, but one specifically that's kind of like become a part of the Stranger Times team, and I really hope they are around in the 5th book because that was just really fun. Genuinely love this series. It is a series that I can say I would keep rereading. It's a series I would continuously recommend to people. Obviously, check in the humor first, because again, if you're not getting on with the humor, you're not really gonna like these books. But if you like the humor, yeah, these books are great. Like, I just really love everything that's in them. I love all the paranormal elements, everything. The way it's building up to be such an epic storyline and all of these things going on, it just works so freaking well. If you went to me, what's a series that I think is underhyped that I would be recommending? Yeah, this series, it is so good. And so at that point, it's like, well, then why isn't this a 5-star read? I want to get better at that. I would love to go out and just go to my local bookshop and be like, you need to order me in book 5, please. Thank you. Because I do really love it. However, I am trying to, one, not buy anything until the 1st of May. Okay, not buy any novels. We're going to see how well that I last with this. And that's something I'm really trying for the next 5 months. We're going to try and be very intentional with the book buy-in. Let's not talk about the manga. Basically, I rejigged my shelves because I now have a manga shelf, and you've got a whole book reorganization video coming to you soon. It will be after this video. And it is because I really am getting into manga and I really want to try light novels, but that does mean that I'm going to need the space for all of that. And to be honest, I don't really want to have more shelves than what I've already got. I'm not going to lie to you. I just went off on the longest tangent to the point where even I was getting confused about what I'm trying to say. I was just going off on a tangent about book buy-in and trying to be more intentional about it, and how I'm going to actually wait until probably end of November time to pick up the 5th book in this series. And that is something that I do enjoy about this challenge with Rainy, is that it's really getting me to see what series do I want to continue and what series do I want to own physical copies of. This is a series where I can go, no, I want to buy and have every single physical copy because I enjoy it so freaking much. And so that's kind of what I'm using Rainy's series challenge to do. I did go on a massive tangent, but honestly, how much of that's going to stay in, I don't know, because I'm kind of tired. So a lot of that is tired ramble. So I'm just gonna go. Editing me is going to hate this clip oh so much when I get round to editing this. did a whole update and I did it all on the wrong memory card, which I could just try and transfer files and stuff, but it's so much more effort than just refilming. So that is what we're gonna do. Basically, we have a change of plans and I am no longer going to be reading the book that held her heart, and I'm really gutted about this one, but when I started it yesterday, I got like almost 40 pages into it. I realized I just do not remember enough about this book to be able to read it. Even with the recap, I was constantly flicking backwards to be like, wait, who's this character and what's going on? It started out fine. For the first couple of chapters, you get a new perspective called Anne, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that was working really well. But once we then moved to a different character's perspective, someone we meet in the very first book, they were doing things that works with like the magic of this world, and I genuinely could not work out what was going on. I've just forgotten so much about it, which is really unusual for me because I'm normally really good at remembering things. And the first book I do remember more of, but that second book is almost like I'm in a dream when I think about it. You know, when you just can't remember the details and it's all a little bit hazy? That's what it's like for me in that second book. So even with the recap and them going, oh, well, we ended the book here and all of this stuff's going on, I'm just like, wait, how did we even get there? What's going on? I just can't do it. And I'm like, rather than being confused and then giving this book a lower rating as a result, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I think later this year, I'm going to reread the first and second book and then read this one and do it all back to back, which I really enjoyed when I did it for the Greenbone Saga by Fronda Lee. I loved reading that series back to back. So I think I'm going to do the same for this, and I think that's going to give me the best reading experience possible. You'll have to let me know if you're interested in a reading vlog. Like, I'm going to do it anyway. I just don't know whether I'm going to vlog it, so let me know if you're interested. But yeah, unfortunately, this one I'm not going to be reading. I was really in the mood for it as well, but it's just not worth it. If I can't remember enough about it, it is just not worth it. So instead, I'm going to swap that book out for Immortality: A Love Story, because I remember a lot about the first book. Like, it's been a few years as well, but I remember a lot about this one, and it's a really easy read. So that's the one I'm going to swap it for, but I'm not going to start this one yet. I have started A Grief of Stones by Catherine Addison. Loving it. This is so good. I'm having so much fun with this. So on the Kindle version, I'm up to page 67, but in Leandra's physical copy, it's a little bit less than that because Leandra said that she stopped around page 60 something, but it's 83 for me in the Kindle. So differences of the edition that we're reading from, like, or the format maybe, but regardless, this is so good. There are no real chapters. It's kind of like broken into parts 1 and 2, or at least that's how it is on the Kindle, and instead you get like chapter breaks, but they're not broken down into like chapter numbers. It's just a little diamond that comes up to break up the narrative. I'm having so much fun with this. This book, you go straight into everything that's happened. There's no real like recap or anything, but what it does do is where the book starts, it does like a little nod to where the first book ended, and I really enjoyed that. So if you don't know what this series is about, it's like a little spin-off from The Goblin Emperor, which is a fantasy book I really enjoy. It's kind of, I find it almost cozy in tone. It's a very political fantasy with goblins and elves, and I just adore it. In this series, we're following a side character that we meet, which is Thara, and he is a witness for the dead, which is the title of the first book. And what that means is he is somebody that can touch a dead person and kind of like, if their spirit is still there, be able to see like their last moments, their last thoughts, and it's really helpful for the police to be able to see like, was this a murder? What happened to this person? Who are they? Especially when they get someone that just turns up in the river and they need to work out, you know, who this person is. They can call upon him to be able to get all of that information. Now, in the first book, there is a murder mystery going on, but then we have, it's kind of like multi-layered. You have one mystery, but you also have other things going on in the plot, and it all kind of comes together, which I really like. And in this book, something similar is happening. He gets approached by this Marquess, I don't know how to pronounce that word. His wife died 3 months ago, and he wants Thalahar to witness her death. And he's like, well, I can't, you know, commune with her spirit. It's been too long. And he says, I know, but I still want you to witness. So basically investigate this, because he came across this, what seems to be a very threatening note. And so that is what Thalahar is now doing. He is going around trying to investigate, trying to talk to people to find out what happened. Was she actually murdered or not? And then we have like another story that's going on at the same time as this to do with a school, and it seems really sinister. We haven't seen loads of that unfold yet from where I am, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm really curious to see how is all of this going to link back together? Where is it all going to go? I really enjoy it. We've also had another character introduced, and I'm just having a great time. I think the way this world is done is so intricate, and yet it is also so readable. So we get a real understanding of the way the society is built, the way that we have this racism between the elves and the goblins, the way that we have the elite of society and those that are poorer, as well as all of those people in between, what it means for the society. It's just brilliant. Like, I really enjoy it, and Thara is such an integral part of the community, and it's so well done. And you see the difficulties he has with the politics in what he's able to do within his role, and also the way he helps so many people in need with just what seemingly seems like small things but makes such a big difference for the people involved. Like, it's just brilliant. I really enjoy it, and we've had a few little like callbacks to the first book with different characters that we're meeting in passing that we met in that first book, and it's just so well done. Like, I really, really enjoy it. I would really recommend, especially if you enjoy a fantasy book or if you enjoy a mystery, like, it does it really, really well. I think it is brilliant, and while initially the writing can seem a little bit off-putting because it has old English words like thou and dost, they have certain ways of formal speech and stuff. You get a lot more of that explained to you in The Goblin Emperor. You still kind of get it explained, and it's not too off-putting. It just works for the world that's being used to have this kind of old English being used at times. Like, it just works. I think it's great. Like, I really, really love it. I don't know if you can tell, but I really, really love it. So I'm having a grand old time with that one. I've decided I'm going to have it as my like read before bed. I want to try and read around 60-ish Kindle pages a day. This is not going to take me long to read because it's less than 300 pages long, and I definitely want to get physical copies of this series. So my dithering of, I'm not sure if this is one that I'm going to want a physical copy of each of the books. Like, yes, I do. I love it so much. Catherine Addison is one of my favourite authors. Very happy that I'm reading that one with Leandra. But while I'm at work today, I think I'm going to take Finlay Donovan with me, because this is just going to be a really light, easy, fun read. It's not one I'm going to have to pay too much attention to, which I think works really well with Grief of Stones, and having that one be a little bit more intricate. Like I say, it's intricate but also readable, but I just feel like it would be good to pair with something a little bit more light-hearted. So that is what I'm going to take to work. Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun. I'll get into like what this series is about. Have I done that already? I don't know. I've been filming this for a while. We're on to week 2 of filming this, and I've done so many different updates. I can't even remember what I've told you and what I haven't at this point for the different books that I'm reading. But I'll go into it when I've started this one, give you my initial impressions and what this series is about. So we're going to continue reading Grief of Stones. I'm going to start this one today, and then I have changed, so instead of the other fantasy book we will be reading this one, which is a shame, but at the same time I know I'm still going to like this one. So anyway, that is it. That is the update. I'm really hungry, so I'm going to go do some food, which is what I said at the end of the last clip before I realised I did it on the wrong memory card. And I didn't go and eat before I decided to do another update and refilm it. So now I'm even more hungry, and I do have to get ready for work. So I'm going to quickly do some food, get myself ready for work, and I'll check back in when I have started all the things. And yeah, it's just been such a good reading time. Like, I'm having a brilliant time. Genuinely, I think Grief of Stones could get 5 stars from me, like, and that would be amazing. Oh, 2 5 stars for one video? That's going to be so good if that happens. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's rein it in, go do some food, and I'll be back. I read so much of Finlay yesterday. I was having so much fun with it. So I'm up to page 118, chapter 15, and it is so good. Oh, I'm having so much fun with this. So I've realised that I love humorous books, as we can tell by this video and the fact that I'm just having the best reading time. This is probably the best reading that I have had in a while, where I am just having the best time with all the books that I'm picking up. And it just goes to show that that as much as I would class this as a palette cleanser book, which very much is, it's also something where I need to realize, no, you just love a funny book, which I shouldn't be surprised at. It's why I love T. Kingfisher. I love the humor in their books. I need to stop saving them for the moments where I'm like, I need a palette cleanser read, and just read them more often, because clearly I'm enjoying them. So this one, okay, it's not as good as the first book. I will say the first book is the best. I gave that one 5 stars, but I'm still really enjoying this. I would say for me, this series is like a 4-star series overall. I really enjoy Finley and just the absolute mess she gets herself into, even when she's not trying to. It's set in January. She's trying to make all these New Year's resolutions, and part of them is to not be involved in all the stuff that she's got caught up in with the last couple books. That doesn't go to plan, because somehow she still ends up in an absolute mess, even when she's not trying to, even when she's just trying to run away, things happen. And it's so silly. Genuinely, Finley's got the worst bad luck ever. It's like, if it could possibly go wrong, it's going to go wrong every single time, and I have such a fun time with it. Really enjoy it. Obviously, I can't tell you too much about this book, but the first one, we're following Finley. She is a author. Her books haven't been doing that well, and she's kind of struggling. She's meant to be doing a new book, but she's struggling for ideas and stuff. She is like a crime, romance, suspense author. She's having a chat with her agent, going, you know what, I just don't know what to do anymore. I'm really bored. I keep killing people in the same ways. Like, I want something different. Someone overhears this conversation and leaves a little note with a person's name and $50,000. And Finley's like, wait, what? They think I'm a hit woman? Like, they've got the complete wrong end of the stick. And then she looks again and she's like, but $50,000. Like, she's going for a divorce. Her husband's a right douchebag trying to keep the kids away. So she needs this money. She needs to clear off some debt. She needs to get a lawyer or whoever it is to help in this case. She's just like, I could really use that money. But she's like, no, I can't kill people. Like, I write about things like this, but I can't do this. And she's back and forth, eventually decides, let me just check this person out. And yeah, then everything goes wrong from there. It is so hilarious. I genuinely do enjoy it, and the plotline does just build on from that first book. So the first book, I would say, is the best. It's the funniest, but at the same time, I still really enjoy the humor in this. Like, the opening scene for this was just utter ridiculousness, and I genuinely just had to laugh with it. I just think it's great. I really enjoy the friendship that's being built in here. I think is great. I also like the potential love interests and stuff, and how the books that she's writing, she's now drawing on her own life experiences, and I really enjoy all of that. It's just good fun. Like, that's what it is. Like, you don't take these books seriously. They are just ridiculous fun. So I do want to continue on with this series 100%. I think what I'm going to do is see how long this series is, because if it's only, I think there's 5 books out. I could be wrong. I'm gonna check before the next update, because if there is only 5 books, then I think I will just get the next 2, pick them up physically. And as much as I probably wouldn't reread the whole series in one run, I would definitely use these if I'm in a reading slump, or if I'm just feeling a bit low. I can just pick up a book, and it could be a random book in the series, because as much as they continue on from one another, you do get a really good recap. I would say probably not great if you're reading these back to back, but if you, like me, you've had a really long space of time between reading whatever book you're on, for me the second book going into the third book, then this would work really well, because it gives you a nice little recap. It just brings back stupidness and funniness, and it's great. So yeah, if I'm ever in that low mood, I can just pick up a random book from this series and read it and know that I'm going to be laughing at some point. And that's the thing, like, I'm genuinely just laughing with this book. Like, it is so much fun. So I can't wait to read more. I honestly think I'm probably going to get this done across like today and tomorrow, because it's such a quick read. Like, I can just binge this so easily because it's just so entertaining. This video is turning out so freaking well, because I'm also made a little bit of progress with Grief of Stones. Not loads since yesterday. I'm now up to page, I think it's 100 and something. I don't know, my Kindle's over there and I'm too lazy. But having fun with that. There was a massive surprise. Like, the plot twisted in a way that I was not expecting, and both me and Leandra are like, what's gonna happen from here? So I'm really enjoying that. I think that one could honestly be a 5-star read. So yeah, this reading vlog is just amazing, and it just goes to show, like, all of these series that I just keep putting off reading, especially like a lot of the humorous ones, because I'm like, well, they're palette cleansers. I need to stop doing that, and I just need to enjoy reading, like just have fun with it. And that is what I'm doing this year, especially with doing these vlogs where they're taking place over 2 weeks instead. I'm able to just have a lot more fun with them, and I'm loving it so much. This is so good. But yeah, that's it really. I need to have some breakfast. As always, get myself ready for work. Oh, I don't know if the footage came out that well, because so I have this gorgeous denim dress from Thailand, and it is absolutely beautiful. I would have to do some adjustments when I pick this one up, and it's not much of an adjustment. I'm just changing it so that instead of buttons going all the way up, I now have a zip. 1/2 inch of space just makes me feel so much more comfortable in the dress. So I was putting on, I don't know if you can even see it, but I've been putting on a zip, and I was like, oh, I'll film me doing the sewing machine. I haven't done that in a while. I'm not amazing at the sewing machine, but I bought it to do little alterations for myself because I'm really short. I'm like 5 foot, I say 2. Reality is probably like 5'1" and a bit. Things like trousers, they're always really long on me. Certain dresses can be really long, or for when I do want to do adjustments like this. I wanted to be able to do those alterations for myself. It made more sense to just buy a sewing machine rather than constantly going to like a tailor's and getting clothes adjusted. It works out more expensive. So yes, I'm doing this. Where was I going with? Oh yeah, but I never know if the footage comes out okay because I'm so like hunched over everything trying to do it all perfectly because I'm still a little bit not great with the sewing machine. I'm still learning. So whether that footage came out and was usable, I guess you'll know. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I've got little bits just to finish up and tidy up. So I'm thinking I might do that today. I can start wearing this one. I love this dress so freaking much. It is so different. It's why, honestly, I pick up a lot of my clothes in Thailand, is because they're just so different. So that's kind of what I did yesterday evening. Also went to the gym, and yeah, that's it. Nothing too major. This week's just been a lot of work, and that's it. So anyway, right, I'm just rambling on at you. Honestly, I am scared to start editing this video. You were wanting long videos, so hopefully I've delivered, especially considering we've still got a whole new book to start and do updates on. So yeah, I think this is going to be the longest video I've done. I was going to sit on the chair, but Hermione has overtaken the chair. She is the ruler of this household, so I will now sit on the floor. She can have the chair, and we get her in the background of the video, which, to be fair, I think everyone's winning. What is winning even more is the reading, because I have finished 2 books since I last updated. It has been so freaking good. So the first book I finished was Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun. Giving this one 4 stars. I genuinely had so much fun with this one. And you know what? I understand people disliking this series as it continues. I feel like the stakes are getting higher. It's not quite as light and silly as the very first book. I still really enjoy it. I still really enjoy the banter between the characters, the outlandishness of things that Finley gets herself caught up in, and the fact that the friendship between her and Vero is brilliant, and it is a central point of the book. I love it, okay? I genuinely love it. I also like how this book ended. We can see where it's going. There are a few like niggling questions and things that I'm hoping we get answered as we continue on. There is actually going to be a 6th book published this year, which I'm very much looking forward to. I mean, okay, I'm only on book 3, but I am so happy with this series, and I will probably continue reading them and picking them up until I decide, you know what, that's far enough for me. When that will be, I don't know, but I have decided I am going to continue picking up the physical editions of these. I love a book that can make me laugh, as proven by this video. I have had 3 of them in this video, and I have genuinely had the best reading for a vlog in ages. I was gonna say reading week, but it's been like almost 2 weeks, and it has been the best time. I can honestly say that this month is turning into one of the best reading months I have had in a very long time, and I do think it's one because of the change where I'm not doing weekly reading vlogs anymore, where I can dedicate time to this type of video instead, but also because I have decided that this year for 2026 I'm just reading whatever makes me happy. If it's not bringing me joy, it's getting DNF, it's getting unhauled, and I'm just going to carry on, and I'm not going to worry so much about, oh, I need to read these type of books, and just read whatever the hell I want. And I love a stupid fun time, and that's what this book gives me, so I'm really happy with it. So yeah, so it's not as strong as the first book, considering I gave that one 5 stars. Like, it has gone down a little bit, but I think I could always give these books a good 4 stars because of the fact that they do make me laugh, and that's all I'm going in there there for. I'm not going in to read a book that takes itself seriously, just want something that is ludicrous fun, and that's what this book has given me. So I think I'm winning. I loved it. I thought it was great. 4 stars. Really, really happy with it, and looking forward to all the rest of the books and seeing where the story goes. Like I say, you can see where it's going to go in the next book, and I am really intrigued, and I think that one's going to be a lot of fun, and they're just going to get themselves stuck in more messy situations, and I cannot wait to see how that's all going to be. So yeah, 4-star read, really happy with that. And then we go into a 5-star read. Let me move over so we don't cover Hermione too much. With the Grief of Stones, 5 stars! Oh my god, this was so good. I genuinely loved it. Look, the plot itself is heavy. It talks about a really disturbing subject, one that is extremely uncomfortable, but I think it's handled very well in this book, and I think it's handled with enough care and also with enough lightness from other little things that happen in the book that it all balanced out very well. I was very impressed with this book, and yeah, I loved it. I almost cried at the ending of this book because our main character, Thara Kelleher, he is going through a big change and he is experiencing a lot of grief from this change. And in one moment he's going, you know, this is really self-indulgent, I really shouldn't be worrying about it. Loads of people deal with other problems and stuff, and I think that's a very relatable thought. But what made this work so well is it's commenting about grief, and it's not talking about just grief over a loss of a loved one. It is talking about all the different forms that grief can take, and I thought it was so powerful. I thought it was so well done. It was done in a way that I think is so poignant. I don't know, it just really hit, and I did end up getting almost teary over it because it was just so well described. That was just, it was brilliant. So 5-star read. We do have an inkling of where we're going to go with the next book, which I really enjoyed. Just like a tiny little tidbit of this letter that our main character gets that is going to be a case of, well, we've got this other thing that we need to look into, and so that is what the 3rd book's probably going to be around. But there is going to be more to it. There are so many layers to this book. It did not go in any of the ways that I thought it was. There were so many twists and turns and things that were happening that I'm like, wait, what? This happened? What? Loved it. So good. So I know that 3rd book, it's going to go on all sorts of different journeys, and it's all going to come together in a way that I will not expect, but will be absolutely brilliant. Like, genuinely fantastic. If you haven't read a Catherine Addison book, but you do enjoy fantasy, give them a try. They've also got another book, which is like a paranormal writing of the Sherlock Holmes books. Fantastic, give it a try. Like, I will advocate for Catherine Addison any chance I can get, because I genuinely think their writing is masterful. The way they do their world building, the way that they give you all this information without once doing any info dumps is genuinely just the mark of a brilliant writer. The character work is phenomenal. I just think that you are so immersed in this world, and it is done so freaking well, and I have found that for every single Catherine Addison book I have read, which this one is the 4th book that I have read by them. I genuinely could not talk about them. Like, I just want to read everything, every single thing that they write. I just think it's brilliant. I'm so impressed with this author, with this work. I will definitely be getting a physical copy of this book and then getting the 3rd book. And I'm just so happy with it. I also loved the fact that I got to buddy read it with Leandra and we got to talk about it. There is so many societal comments in this book that I think is brilliant. There is even the commentary of what is morally correct and what you can legally do. And I loved that discussion in here, the way our main character really had to juggle with that in this book. I thought it was just excellent. I just really, really enjoy everything about this book. So yeah, 5 stars. Brilliant. And I can't believe I've had 2 5-star reads in this video. Like, it's been amazing. I want to like go through all of it now, but I know I'm going to do that at the end. So I'm going to save myself the editing time and not go on a tangent right now about it all. But it's safe to say I've been having an amazing week, 2 weeks, with this vlog that I have had such a enjoyable time with all the books that I am reading. We have now completed pretty much the whole bingo. We've got one left to do. That book I have realised I have packed in my work bag in the other room and I can't bother to go and get it. So I will talk to you about the last book of this video once I have started it. This could not be going any better than what it's currently going at, and I can only thank Rainy for this challenge because it gave me the kick up the bum to actually read these books, because you can 100% bet that if it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for the bingo board and for this video idea, I would not have read these books. And I have had some of the best reading time that I have had in a very long time because of it. I am genuinely so grateful. It has reminded me to read whatever the hell I want, to enjoy all of the silly, ridiculous books and to not save them for palette cleansers. It has reminded me that I genuinely love continuing on with series because I can get so attached to characters. And so the further we go into a series, the more invested I get. But I am going to say to you what I have been saying at pretty much the end of every single clip, which is I am hungry, I need to do some food, and I've got to get ready for work. Started Immortality, a love story. I'm up to chapter 6, page 75. And this first bit of the book, like, I feel like I've stopped quite early on in the book, considering we've still got like 300 pages to go. But I also feel like this is the perfect point to stop because from here is when the plot is picking up. These first 75 pages have all just been kind of recapping what happened in book 1. Not all of the fine details, but just giving you a broad brushstroke of what happened. So in book 1, like, we follow Hazel. She is the daughter to, I think he's a colonel in the military, and they've got quite a bit of money. They're very well off. They're in the elite of society. However, she doesn't want to adhere to what is expected of a woman, a young woman in this time period. The whole getting married, having kids, doing all of that. Like, she doesn't want that. She is fascinated by medicine. She wants to become a surgeon, especially because her brother George, he passed away because of this fever and nobody could do anything about it. And all she wants to do is help. But she hasn't been able to get the education for it because it's not seen as a womanly thing. Women aren't allowed to be surgeons or doctors. So she decides to disguise herself and get herself an education by pretending to be a boy. And doing this, she meets another boy called Jack, who is a grave robber, because during this time period, the only way that they were able to practice on cadavers is by getting them from grave robbers. Like, that's what they were relying on. Extremely unethical, but we get that depicted in here. And then we have this other plot line that emerges, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed how the events of that first book went. And so we spend the first 75 pages with Hazel. She has managed to open up her free clinic, helping people out, especially those, the poor of society, that cannot afford doctors, that their only options are really shady people with things that could leave them fighting for their life at the end of it when they've actually just wanted help. So Hazel is offering a service to compensate for that. Her goal is to try and write a book everyone can read, rather than just those people within science and it being very difficult to read and almost like segregating people because of the inaccessibility of it. She is fighting to do it more as like a guidebook so that everyone is able to do this and able to help themselves, because why shouldn't we share this knowledge? So we get a lot of that but then we also get Hazel thinking back over the events that happened over a year ago and the things that led her to be in this position. And then from where I've left it, that is where the plot line's going to go. I'm not going to go into that. Obviously, it's the second book, it's the final book in a duology, so I'm not going to go into that. But I would say if you're going straight into this book, say you've just read the first book, you're going straight into the second book, it's probably too much. 75 pages of recapping the first book is probably going to be a bit too like, well, we've just read all of this. However, if you're like me and you've had quite a bit of time between the two books, I honestly didn't mind it. I feel like it just recaptured the essence of the first book in this. I find it interesting how some authors do this sort of recap and then others don't. You'll have to let me know what you prefer. Do you like having a recap put in a book? I think it all just depends on how long I've left it between books. So, I mean, I used to read books back to back, so I never used to need it. And sometimes I still don't. Sometimes I still remember enough. But I think because I always tend to leave it a little bit longer, it's always nice to have a little bit of a recap. But it's also interesting to see how authors do it in different ways. I feel like this one felt a little bit more info dumpy in the recap than some of the others. So like Grief of Stones and Relight My Fire, they handled it very lightly while still giving you that information, whereas I feel this one is a little bit heavy-handed. This book does remind me of Stalking Jack the Ripper. So if you like Stalking Jack the Ripper and you're looking for more of it, because in this one we have, again, a young girl from elite society who wants to be trained within the medical field and again deals with all the inaccessibility of that because of her gender, but this one's set in London. This one's set in Edinburgh, then yeah, I think you could get on with them. I personally prefer this. I have reread this book in particular several times, and the first two books of this series are my absolute favourite. So if I was to choose one to reread, I would choose this one over this like Anatomy of Love story, this duology. I think this one has the added element of like a really intriguing murder mystery, maybe just because it is around Jack the Ripper, I'm not sure. And this one also has like slight retelling aspects, which is always a bonus for me. So I prefer this one, but I do think, you know, if you're looking for a recommendation and you've read either one of these, then yeah, I think this is a good one for it. It does make me wonder though about this duology and whether I would keep it. I'm 100% going to finish it. I think this could be an easy 3.75, maybe even a 4-star read. I like it. This, out of all the books I've read this week, I think, I want to say my least favourite, but that sounds so negative. Like, I prefer the others that little bit more, but I still like this one. Like, I still like the setting, like it being in Edinburgh during this time period, like I'm enjoying all of that. I think I just prefer the other books that little bit more. And then thinking to myself, okay, well, if I was to reread a book, which one would I reread out of this and Stalking Jack the Ripper? Knowing I would reread Stalking Jack the Ripper, I'm probably not going to reread this duology, which then makes me wonder, do I keep it on my shelves? Especially because I am very much trying to make sure that my shelves are just filled with books that I really want to read or that I have read but would reread. And if I don't feel like I'm going to reread them, then I don't really need to keep them on my shelves. It feels very negative, but I'm not being negative about this. I am liking it. I do think it's a good book. I just don't feel the need to keep this duology on my shelf. But that could change depending on how the plot goes, because like I say, the plot's going to be picking up from here. So I'm very intrigued to see where this plot line is going to go, what different things our character is going to be dealing with, and yeah, we can go from there. And it may turn out that actually I really enjoyed it, and so the duology is staying. I don't know. It's just I'm being a little bit more particular in what gets to stay on my shelves. Anyway, right, I am rambling, as always. I've actually finally started editing this vlog. It is a little bit chunky. Hopefully you like it. You'll have to let me know if this length of video is good for you or not. But yeah, anyway, right, I've got to go. I finished Immortality, A Love Story, and this was fine. This is where I'm struggling, because books that I find just fine, I do struggle to talk about, because it's like, what do I say apart from the fact that I found it okay? I think if you love Hazel as a character, then yes, read this book. But otherwise, I don't think it does anything. I quite liked how it ended in Anatomy, A Love Story. And yes, it takes away some of that uncertainty of how it ended regarding one particular thing, but it takes such a long time to get there with this book that I don't really think it's worth it, especially if that's why you've continued. I think it'd be better for you to leave it that slightly little bit ambiguous. I really enjoyed the start of this book, obviously with the recap and everything, like it worked really for me, it worked really well. It would be frustrating if you read it very close together because it is a long recap. I just think overall the plot in this one just wasn't as engaging as what I had hoped for. Plot in the first book is much stronger. I just think this book was fine, but I do understand why a lot of people said it was unnecessary. And to be quite honest, I don't know if these books are going to stay on my shelves because of the fact that I don't think I would reread them, to be quite honest. If anything, I may reread the first book, but I really wouldn't prioritise it compared to, as I already mentioned, things like Stalking Jack the Ripper series. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to hang on to these ones, but I am pleased that I read this one. I'm glad that I gave it a try. In reality, it's probably lower than a 3.5, but I'm going to give it the 3.5 because I did like the start of this and I do like the atmosphere. It's just a shame that the plot really wasn't that strong. Like I say, if you love Hazel as a character, then this is going to be a good book for you because that's basically all we're really focusing on is just Hazel, her things that she's dealing with. There are a few little plot lines here and there, but nothing that I would say is that amazing. What I wanted from this book, it took a very long time to get there, that it was over halfway before we actually start seeing any of that happen, which I think that it shouldn't have been that long for me personally. So yeah, unfortunately this one was just an okay read, but it does mean we have finished our first line on the bingo board and I'm so happy with that. Genuinely, this has been an amazing couple weeks reading. This vlog has shown me that I am so happy I made this decision to go bi-weekly vlog, and also the ideas of things like this, of trying to get a bingo and stuff. I am so excited to do these videos. I will definitely be coming back to do another video of this. I'm honestly probably thinking we can get maybe 3. We'll see how it goes, because in between times I'm also going to, like, if I read a continuation of a series that works for one of these squares, I will be filling it. But yeah, I had so much fun with this. It was so good. I have other video plans because I've got like stacks of bingo boards that I am trying to complete this year. So we'll definitely have a few different versions of this. The next vlog you're going to see is the next episode of Shop My Shelves. And then the one after that, we are going to be doing a different bingo board and trying to get a bingo on that. But I'm so pleased that this is the one that I started off with. Like, it has just been the best reading time. So let's quickly recap what I have read for this video. We started out with loving it so far and reading the Geographer's Map to Romance, which I gave 4.5 stars. So much fun with this. Can't wait for that third book to come out, which I believe is in April. I did write it down. Pretty sure it's April. Really looking forward to this. It is just so ridiculous and fun, and I just had such a good time. Really pleased this is what I started my week off with. Then we moved on to Chunky Read, and for that one I went with Relight My Fire. First 5-star of the year. Had so much fun with this one. Can't wait to continue on with the series. I think it's just such a strong series. Like, it includes so many things I like. We've got paranormal mystery investigations plus really good humor. It just really works for me, so I'm very, very happy with this. From there, I finished off Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun, giving this one 4 stars, and this one was for vibes. Really pleased that I went with this one in the end. Yeah, I definitely will be continuing on with the series. While it is not the best one, I still really enjoy it because of the humor in this one, and genuinely the start to this week, well, this video, being 3 very humorous reads was just so good. Like, genuinely had the best reading time with those. Then we had our second 5-star of the year with Grief of Stones, Making Forward Progress. Pretty sure that's the one I put it in for. Loved it. It was so fantastic. Cannot wait to read that third and final book. I think it's going to be brilliant. Although I will be a little bit sad not to have any more books around Dara Kelleher. I love him so much. Really hoping that we get more books in this world because I just love it so much. It is such a brilliant world. And then of course we finished off with, what is the prompt for this one? All Caught Up, and finished out a duology with Immortality, a love story at a 3.5, a generous 3.5. To be fair, it should just be a 3-star. Considering this was the lowest rated book I had all week. I keep saying week because I'm so used to just doing a vlog over a week. No, across 2 weeks. The fact that the lowest rated book I have had across 2 weeks is a 3-star read is amazing. Like, I didn't DNF anything. I had such a fun time with it. I'm just so freaking happy with all the books that I read for this video. I genuinely just best time with all of this. Cannot wait to come back for a second round of this, probably in a few months time, but I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of it. Are you taking part in Rainy's series reading challenge. I've had such a good time. Like the fact that I got 2 5-star reads in one video, oh, so good. I'm actually a little bit scared because I'm going into shop my shelves, which I'm going to be starting that intro straight after this, which is always a bit terrifying because I do tend to DNF quite a lot because I've changed a lot of my reading taste over the year. Kind of scared, but you know what? It was really good. I'm so happy with this. It worked exactly how I wanted it to. I am so pleased with it. Hopefully you like this video. If you've read any of these, let me know. If you're considering picking any of these series up, again, let me know. Or what is a series that you're really excited to read? All of the things in the comments below. But thank you so freaking much for being here. And thank you if you've made it all the way to the end. This video is long, but I think if we've made it this far, then you know what? We're gonna have to put the laughing face emoji because the 3 humorous books really made this for me. Like I just loved it so freaking much. So put the laughing face in the comments below if you've made it this far or just don't have anything you want to say. And thank you. Thank you so much for being here. An extra special thank you goes out to all of my patrons for all of your support over there. It truly means the absolute world. If you have enjoyed this video, then please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing and commenting. Those 3 things really help this channel out. My social media links, Discord, Patreon, anyone that I've spoken about, everyone is always linked below for you, and I will catch you in the very next video. You know, I messed up that outro so many times. Oh my god. I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next one.